Over the last, well, almost 2 years now, safety and environmental concerns at airports have risen greatly. And it's more important than ever to be able to have the paperwork to prove that you're complying with both the environmental regulations and safety regulations. So with a CMMS, you can accurately deploy inspections, for one, to make sure that you are complying with the environmental and safety regulations. And it can also then track any changes made in relation to those regulations. So for example, if a piece of equipment or something is moved from one area to another, that all can get tracked within the CMMS system for proof down the road that you're meeting these regulations. That goes to the third point as well, where your various districts will monitor airport operations with, as far as record keeping goes and compliance. It also assists with tracking of MRO parts using barcodes. And that's a very important part of the equation as well, because maintaining a large store of parts requires a lot of organization to keep track of all those parts. So basically that will keep you in compliance with any of the regulations that you may have facing you at the time. And of course, over the last, going on 2 years now, we've had the, first of all, the epidemic and all that's associated with that, and the new regulations that have come into effect as a result of that. Having an effective EAM or CMMS to track the remediation and the changes that were occurring are vital. So if you take a look at the first point here, collect and track data in real time, having a system in place that can actually report back when it detects something is wrong can be crucial. And a lot of what we do in airports that we work with is put in place a lot of automation with existing systems for tracking things like incident reports or maintenance breakdowns. There's also processes in place to actually issue requisitions to keep inventory supplies at the ready for emergencies. And that can all be timed out and based upon your current supply levels. So if you get low, you can automatically reorder parts or reorder, sanitation or whatever it is you have to actually procure. There's also methods for scheduling waste removal. So if you're contracted with a waste removal firm, you can issue work orders for them, and it automatically will be sent out to them so they can complete the work. And obviously work schedules for your current technicians. You can set up the schedules in advance to go check things like, again, sanitation or, the normal maintenance activities that occur alongside that. This next point goes back to what we were talking about a little bit on the last slide, is the compliance reporting. And again, with all the new rules that came online, this was vital during the last year and a half or so. And we could also do any other additional inspections that you may need to come up with. If there is a daily like walkthrough, for example, where you walk through a terminal and just do a visual inspection, that can actually be and should actually be recorded in a CMMS system as well. I'd like to talk a little bit about ArcGIS integration into a CMMS system. We've become very aware that ArcGIS, being the preeminent GIS software manufacturer, has become an important part in maintenance as well. And getting ArcGIS to integrate to your CMMS has a lot of advantages. What you'll see here are two illustrations of airport location. And what we can actually do here is pinpoint where incidents or breakages are occurring. If you'll notice in blue here, it might be a little bit hard to see, but these are locations where incidents have occurred. And by allowing drill down, obviously by clicking on those buttons, you can actually get to the event that's occurring, whether that is a breakdown or maybe even something that was previously scheduled to be done. You have a very visual map of where things are occurring on the airport. And of course, this can be expanded or you can scale it down to see just what you want to see within the system. But basically, we take an existing ArcGIS file, for lack of a better word, and we essentially import that into the system, allowing basically you to use whatever you currently have as far as ArcGIS goes, and project that up onto a big screen to give yourself an overview of what exactly is going on at the entire facility. And here's some of the benefits of that besides what I've already explained. It allows you to find assets, first of all. You can drill down to assets. Allows you to capture data and basically helps you with the tracking of your day-to-day duties. Allows you to improve coordination between your different departments and get things done more efficiently. The map allows you to actually see clusters of events that may be occurring, and that can be used as a predictor to say, hey, this might be failing, or we got to do XYZ to prevent more failures. This last one here is the electronic call log. This is what we're calling the, well, you can call it call log. It's basically what it is. It's a way for technicians or anybody really to take service calls from the tenants of the airport. So let's say somebody in a shop reports a dripping faucet that they want to have fixed. They can call in and the operator can take down that note very quickly using this method and automatically then issue a work order for correction of that. So if somebody is getting like 100 calls a day, this can really make their life a lot easier. It just really quick, you can skim across the entire line, click create work order, and then they're done. And then this is also retained for an indefinite period of time, so you have the record of that initial entry. Up top, you can see some of the categories this customer chose to go with. They're things that make sense to them. And of course, this can be customized to your needs as well. But this is something that we've just come out with, and it's going to be something that's very valuable for airports and basically any personnel that are taking calls on a regular basis. So we're kind of proud of that. It turned out really nice. And we have a lot of different KPIs and reports also available for FAA inspection, and that would be something we would be able to customize as well. So with that being said, I know this is a very fairly short webinar, but we just wanted to go over what we think some of the advantages of using a CMMS in your airport environment. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and flip to the questions page here, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you guys might have. Okay, I see that question. Is it only airports we work with? No, we have a variety of customers. We've been working with airports for a number of years now, so that's one sector we work with, but we also work with manufacturing to some degree and building management.
Do you guys integrate with third-party systems?
We do, actually. We can do that in a number of different ways. One of the things we have is for building automation, we have a BACnet interface, which is actually being used at one of our airport customers. We also have it's called Web Services API. So that if that software package that you're thinking of has Web Service API as well, we can communicate that way. And we can also do a certain amount of flat file exchange if that's what your needs are. So yeah, we can interface with a number of different systems.
Can you give examples of types of KPIs?
Well, the most obvious one that usually gets brought up is the mean time between failure. So we have a graph system that's interactive, and allows you to obviously see the distance between failures of your assets, whatever those may be. And you can drill down a little bit and it'll show you the work orders that were resulted from that, so on and so forth. We also have basically it's a total overview of costs. So that gives you a broad picture of what is costing you the most to maintain. I mean, those are just two examples. We really can accommodate any that you would need. Just be a matter of working with you. But mean time between failure, equipment runtime, metering, all kinds of different things you can track with these KPIs.
Can you give example of current airports you're working with?
One of the I don't think we can mention the explicit names. But there are two major airports in the United States Midwest. Let's just put it that way.
Here's another one.
There's also a couple regional airports as well. So
Yeah, we do work with some of the larger ones too, the international ones. Oh, and just to refer back to the screenshots and stuff, we actually do work. Those are some of the changes we're making in these features are because we work so closely with these airports. So it's good if we work with the customer because then we know what their needs are. So that one is that. Okay. Jacob, can you go into the implementation process?
yeah, absolutely. The first thing to start with, obviously, is the collection of assets that you wish to monitor. And when I say assets, that can be anything from machinery to specific locations within your facility. You have to get that list together before, obviously, you can start to do any work on it. So once we have that list, which is typically done through Excel, we can just import that list into our system and it's there. So that's the big chunk of work done right there. But typically, after you get that in place, then you can start actually creating work orders. And we generally encourage people to start using the system right away, even if they don't have all the pieces in place. As long as you got those assets in place, you can start using it and getting payback on the system, right away. And then you can add things like parts, labor, anything else that you'd wish to measure in terms of cost. You can add those in. And it's very flexible with the way you can do that. We tried to make it so that you could kind of customize the system to use it the way you wish to use it. So in a broad sense, we start with assets, get those in there, start work orders. Additional things like, let's say, integration with third-party systems, that we would typically do a little later in the process, and just get that working with the data that you have. So that's a very general implementation. To be honest, it varies with everybody because everybody has different needs as well. I know I've said that a couple times now, but it's actually true because different people have different needs.
Yeah, and every project's different too. So a lot of times we would look at what is needed for the project and we can base the pricing on that. It's not just a set pricing to say that, it's XYZ. It depends on what your needs are and what your budget is. And then we usually try and work with our customers to see how we can assist them with the project. We've got another one here, and it's actually interesting the way that the training is offered, especially in times like now that we can't go into facilities or visit. Do you want to explain a little bit how we support and offer training?
Yeah, well, we're trying to keep everything online, obviously. So we use tools such as Microsoft Teams to reach out to people, and we provide 3-hour sessions, 3 hours of training, which is really what most people can handle in a day before, frankly, they start falling asleep. So we do that over the course of several days, and at the end of that period, the people should be ready to go ahead and start using the system. And we go through things like, obviously, basic software how-tos, how to use it, but also things like numbering methodologies, how to strategize and use the system more effectively. So it's not just click here to get this. It's if you do this, it's going to give you this benefit. So
mobile application.
we do. Yeah, we have a mobile application that will work with iOS, Android, and actually Windows 10 at this point. And that does a lot of the same functionality that's in the main application.
Okay. Is there any other questions? Is there anything else anybody wants to know? Do you want to go up the two screenshots, just show one, the GIS one again, maybe? If anyone just wanted to see the screenshot again, is to see if there's anything else that we can answer for anybody.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah. This is
so
one of the most.
To see this?
Yeah, no, I was just thinking because most people, when we speak to, when we work with airports, this is something that they're interested the most at the moment. Is just how we. I mean, it's not every day that not all of our CMMS companies have these to show it. So it's good to just. I just thought it might be good to show.
Yeah, this is something we're kind of proud of as well. So.
Yeah.
And actually, I said about the airports we work with, but you can kind of tell by looking at this one which one we're in. So if you look closely.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. I know it's a short webinar. We didn't want to spend too much time and overload people. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us or get a hold of us. If there's something, if you would like a personalized session where we can actually discuss costs regarding your project, or if you have a project that you're bidding on that you want to discuss with us, please feel free to work with us, and we can do a need analysis for you on it. There's our email address. It's sales@eaglecmms.com. Feel free to shoot us an email and we can set up a time, discuss your needs, and see if there's any need for software in your projects with the costing as well. Jacob, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us.